Instead of spending 50 years in prison, you got 4 months.
That's Matt, I'll babysit your daughter Gaetz, showing huge huevos by attacking Lev Parnas before the Republican Impeachment Committee. And the timing, well, it's ironic to say the least.
Remarkable development, as you just said. Congressman Matt Gaetz, sources telling ABC News, has now been subpoenaed as part of ongoing civil litigation that is underway in the state of Florida. And remember, Kira, this all relates to allegations that have ensnared Congressman Matt Gaetz for years, that he had sexual relations with a woman when she was a minor. Fast forward years later, the woman who was then a minor is now in her 20s, and she has issued this subpoena to Congressman Matt Gaetz. But what's really key here, Kira, is that because of this subpoena, which is calling for an April 5th deposition, Congressman Matt Gaetz could now have to go under oath.
Now, I don't know if Matt Gaetz had sex with minors, but his best friend and self-professed wingman, Joel Greenberg, said he did. Greenberg pleaded guilty in 2021 to charges, including sex trafficking. He's serving 11 years in prison. He had previously cooperated with a Justice Department investigation as to whether Matty Teenthrob had engaged also in sex trafficking of a minor, which is a federal offense, carries 10 years in the slammer.
Want to know where Hunter Biden's laptop is?
I bet you want to look at a lot of laptops, Matty. Anyway, Gaetz has been all over the impeachment inquiry, and now he's doing what MAGA GOP has been doing since 2015. But what about this?
You took money from a Russian oligarch.
That's hilarious, Matt, but here's the real story. While it's true that Lev Parnas, while working with and for Rudy Giuliani, searched for ways to smear Biden, trying to get Ukraine officials and Burmisa to lie about their relationships with Hunter and Joe, he ultimately failed. And everything he said about Rudy, Trump, and Ron Johnson is backed up by evidence and supporting testimony.
Tried to use that money to go give political donations and do what you had to do to acquire marijuana licenses. Is that about right?
That's what the crime was. That's what the indictment was. Yeah.
Right. So it sounds like everyone here today, the only one working for a Russian oligarch was you. Right? I mean,
yeah, it was.
I just heard you.
It's public information.
Yeah, no, I just heard you wax poetic.
I got paid $200,000. You know how much I got paid.
You were really worried about our democracy, and you were here to warn us. But you were working for a Russian oligarch,
on
wanting
behalf
to
of
get
President
marijuana
Trump.
licenses. But then you didn't even do it. The fraud you committed against the Russian oligarch was that instead you spent the money on yourself. So, like, was that what you were doing to fight against Russia's aggression?
That's a lie.
Just taking their money? Well, that's what you were convicted of.
No,
but instead of spending 50 years in prison, you got 4 months.
Gaetz' grilling of Parnas begs this underlying question. Why are the Russians only helping the Republican Party? Never a Democrat, always Republicans. Is it because back in 2015, when Paul Manafort fled from Ukraine after the dictator and oligarchs he was working for, trying to influence U.S. policy, were overthrown and then fled to Russia? He came to the U.S. and ran Trump's campaign for free. And that summer, the Republican National Committee, at Trump's request, pulled support for Ukraine against Russia. And then why did the Internet Russia Agency hack the DNC only and then hand those emails to WikiLeaks?
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily.
And why did Russia run a PSYOP social media campaign to help Trump?
After years of Democrats using this committee as a mouthpiece for every conspiracy theory they could find, like the Russian collusion hoax, under my leadership, the committee has returned to real investigation.
Yeah, except the CIA, NSA, FBI, Treasury, and 13 other intelligence agencies identified the source of the hacks and ops as Russian operatives.
Would you now, with the whole world watching, tell President Putin, would you denounce what happened in 2016, and would you warn him to never do it again?
My people came to me, Dan Coates came to me, and some others. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this, I don't see any reason why it would be.
Why did Trump defend Putin in Helsinki?
Мне хотя бы один факт, который говорит о каком-то сговоре.
And why does Trump refuse to acknowledge Putin's role in the death of Russian dissident Alexei Navalny?
Putin's a killer. A lot of killers. We got a lot of killers. Why you think our country's so innocent?
This isn't long division, Matt. The GOP has a boyfriend. Unfortunately for you, he's older than 13.
Today, I ask you to consider the following. In nearly a year traveling the world and interviewing officials in different countries, I found precisely zero evidence of the Biden's corruption in Ukraine.
Again, the irony is rich with this one. The fact that Comer and Jordan took false information from a Russian agent and based their entire inquiry on it matters less to Gaetz than how Parnas spent oligarchs' money.
No credible source has ever provided proof of criminal activity, not the FBI, CIA, nor the NSA. No respectable Ukrainian official has ever said that the Bidens did anything illegal, including former President Poroshenko and former Prosecutor General Yuri Lutsenko.
I've interviewed Parnas, and he doesn't hide, nor has he ever attempted to hide from the facts.
Donald Trump was aware of everything that was going on.
Now, Matty Teenthrob continues his attack on Parnas, which is fine if you're telling the truth. But Gaetz instead chooses as an ally Tony Bobulinski, who has lied under oath and, for the record, doesn't even know how to use a microphone.
So I guess Mr. Bobulinski, Mr. Parnas, fresh off of his prison time, is the most credible witness we've had to address these business dealings. What's your reaction to that?
I think it's laughable that the Democrats are asking Lev Parnas to weigh in on my credibility, a convicted felon that served jail time. I have an impeccable record.
Okay. First, Parnas didn't provide the proof that Smirnov was a Russian asset, giving Comer and Jordan false information. That would be the FBI, or as you call them, the deep state. And Tony Bobo, you committed a crime, lying under oath. And if that's an impeccable record, well, then you fit right in with Teenthrob and his over-the-state line dating club.
Now, he warned me earlier in this hearing that they're coming for me.
I didn't worry. I said just keep talking. You'll be there soon.
I look forward to that, Mr. Parnas.
Keep lying. You'll be there soon.
Well, and
is that a threat, Mr. Parnas?
No, it's just the truth.
No, did you say they were coming for me?
No, I said if you keep lying, you will end up in prison.
I'm not lying. You're the one who was lying.
You have nothing to say.
You're the one who went to prison
for lying.
What am I lying
for? Tell me what we're lying for, Mr. Bobulinski. You don't even know what you're talking about. What am I lying?
You went to prison for lying and defrauding your investors.
What am I lying here? What am I lying here?
Oh, the list is long. We don't have enough time. I think Mr. Gaetz only has a minute.
I think you're a little scared, just like Mr. Gaetz. Because Mr. Gaetz doesn't even ask a question. You're filibustering. I've been here for 6 hours, and not one of your committee members has asked me one question.
Yowza, he's right. Parnas is dead on. No one has asked him one question regarding the salient points of this whole investigation because his testimony backs up every single fact that there never has been any evidence that money was given to the Bidens by Ukraine or any company that Hunter worked for. In another bit of irony, while Matt Gaetz joins a long list of Republicans who defend Trump's deep and worrisome ties with Russia, they have fabricated charges that they cannot substantiate, but in doing so, have Democrats sitting up and taking notice.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
Trump has stated that he will allow Russia to do whatever the hell they want with NATO, and add to that his weird relationship with Kim Jong-un.
And then we fell in love. He wrote me beautiful letters. And they're great letters.
And it's hard to determine which is a greater threat to America, Trump's traitorous inclinations or his declining cognitive state.
You can't let that happen to me.
Either way, the Republican Party has pulled out all the stops to protect him. And with Trump facing bankruptcy and prison time and the GOP bent over and begging for it, I'd consider voting. And if you live in Florida,
Sex charges against me.
Consider moving.
Time to pack it up.
Who's with me?
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Am I wrong?
Damn right.
Yes. Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
Follow, like, and hit notifications as Really American keeps you up to date on the latest Republican cult lie in this very important year. For Really American, I'm Chip Franklin.